Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is 24Oscarr and this is a first impressions video of Valve's upcoming game which is in beta called Deadlock. For those who don't know, Valve games have been around for so long that they've made timeless classic games that have been implemented into games we have nowadays. For their pioneer games like Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress 2, CSGO, Left 4 Dead, Dota to name a few. It's no wonder that Valve has been one of the most important companies we have nowadays when it comes to gaming. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because they can be, let's just say, lazy. The company has been well known to not care about updates, not care about new releases. They can't go past the number 3 when it comes to games. So this game will be a big deal, how everybody will be raving about the next new title in Valve. So this is Deadlock, which is almost a third-person MOBA game, similar to their game Dota. So this is good marketing because it will cater to the MOBA fans as well as the first-person shooter fans like Overwatch or Valorant. And let me just say, the stuff I'm gonna critique, it's just from first impressions. I know they're gonna patch things, they're gonna update things, so this is just for the beta first impressions, so don't get mad at me. If I have to be honest, MOBA games are not my thing. From Dota to League of Legends, they're always the same cookie cutter style, going from point A to point B, trying to capture a main objective. But Deadlock right now feels like a bit of a step down compared to the other games. It feels pretty easy to get confused in this game, and if you're behind on your team trying to get to a main objective, it will feel like a pretty miserable experience. The death timers are extremely long, I find. I feel like they go on for over 20 minutes, so if they can manage to trim it down, it would make it more of a better experience. At first glance, there is no clear instructions yet when it comes to routes or particular camp benefits. Just sometimes you feel like you have to fight the big monster and sometimes kill small monsters, and then the enemies on the other team. I'm sure this will get clarified as the game progresses, because clearly that can't be all there is, because it doesn't really give you a main focus or a drive to push forward. So to talk more about the game, it is characterized by its third-person perspective that separates it from the traditional top-down MOBAs, while it draws inspiration from Dota, featuring familiar itemizations. The gameplay requires a level of precision and skill typically seen in first-person shooters. With Ice Frog involved in balanced development, players can expect a game that caters to both strategic MOBAs and shooter enthusiasts. Combat is different for each class with the introduction of various skills. Augmented with ability points, players can choose between different playstyles, aggressive DPS builds, or utility-focused options depending on their hero characteristics. In battles, there's flexibility in how players can position themselves and utilize the abilities for maximum efficiency. There are several ways to engage, whether by melee attacks, range bursts, or executing powerful ultimates. Each ability can be upgraded to improve performance further, making mastering the timing and combination of the abilities crucial for success. And that's about it, that's all we know about this game, so do I think Deadlock's gonna have potential? To me, not immensely. No matter what comes out, they will be overshadowed by the traditional first-person shooters that esports always cater to. Valve does need another game besides CSGO to make profits. They can announce skins, weapons, emotes, just so they can get more money. The TF2 fanbase is quite stagnant right now. It's not expanding, but they're not leaving at the same time. So they're not gonna make a profit, they're not gonna sell more hats to them. I don't think they're at that point where they care about new cosmetics. Same with CSGO, I think they're gonna stop expanding. They will move on to other big games like Rainbow Six Siege, to name an example, something similar to that game. So they're not gonna make a profit of selling them skins of their gold weapons. So they do need something new, like hey, Overwatch, Valorant. People spend a shit ton of money just to get skins or emotes. We need something similar to that. And boom, you have this. The heroes don't really have identities yet, assuming Valve's gonna drop trailers of who the characters are, similar to TF2 where they're gonna show more of their personality and show what they're fighting for. So as you can see on the minimap, there are different row lines you're supposed to go to each objective. I assume that you're supposed to be assigned to one of them, or else you get to freely move around without doing anything to contribute to your team. it does feel a bit weird you have to go back and forth to go back to the other people if they're struggling with their rail line, because they need to destroy one monster who is just a simple guardian. But you do have your little minions to help you out, so you can take them out easily without any help from the other people. And then you get to the second phase where it's like a bigger monster. That's where I feel like people might need some help to communicate and they can like take it down quicker. And at the very end, that's the capture point. That's where the base for the opponents are. And that's where everybody does need to come together and then have to annihilate everyone just so they can capture it on time. I do feel like it might not be balanced. Unless they have any team speak or any way to communicate, just so they can explain like, oh, what's everyone's prime objective? Oh, I'm on rail line purple, I'm struggling, can someone help me? Or else all this group's gonna be stuck in one end, or they're not gonna help anybody else, and it's not gonna like end so well. And plus, if you're gonna be the one falling back because you're struggling on one guardian, then they're all gonna like shit on you. And it's gonna be bad because if you're like not having a strategic plan, and then the other opponents, they do have a plan, like, oh, one for each rail line, and then anyone who's struggling, just get an extra to help them, whoever's like caught up. So it's gonna end pretty quickly. That I wish maybe they will try to find a way to fix stuff, just so they can just find a way to make sure it's fair for every player that's in the game. And this is just one game mode. I assume they're gonna make more as soon as they get the engine running and they got a good fan base to consistently stay and play the game more and more. So if they're gonna like do similar stuff like Overwatch when it comes to game modes, maybe 1-on-1s or 6v6, but I don't know, just whatever. Maybe it'll be a bit more fun so people have preferences. But that's all we know. I don't really know what they can do when it comes to this Dota style of gameplay. We don't know when this game is coming out, and I hope this isn't the only Valve game they're gonna focus on. This game will attract and retain a dedicated player base, but for me it's not gonna have longevity in my opinion, and it also is gonna be overshadowed by many of the competitive shooter games out right now. I will give it credit for having a unique blend of MOBA and shooting mechanics. That being said, that's my first impressions of this game. Are you guys excited for this game, or are you a bit disappointed for what Valve is releasing? Let me know in the comments below. My name is 24Oscarr, and I'll see you soon.